would you do with billions of dollars in the bank? Buy a private island, launch your own space program, or try to change the world? Imagine having more money than you could ever possibly spend in a lifetime. Now multiply that by 15. Meet the people who don't have to imagine. The 15 richest human beings on the planet, with personal fortunes that defy belief. These are wealth that's simply incomprehensible to most of us. Their net worth figures have so many zeros, you'd get dizzy counting them. With bank balances bigger than some nations, these tycoons can buy practically anything they want, from private jets to Caribbean islands. But who are these multi-billionaires and how did they accrue such astronomical fortunes? Were they born rich, or did they climb to wealth from nothing? What secrets lie behind their success stories? Tune in now to unlock the secrets behind generational wealth creation and find out if money really can buy happiness. Number 15. Gautam Adani. Kicking off the list at number 15 is Gautam Adani, the infrastructure and commodities tycoon from India. Adani has seen his net worth explode recently to $82 billion. He built his business empire from nothing, much like others on this list. His vast holdings span ports, power plants, mining, green energy, and more. Born in 1962 in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Adani comes from a middle-class textile merchant family. From a young age, he was business-oriented and eager to strike out on his own. Adani got his start trading commodities like diamonds and plastics. In 1988, at age 26, he established Adani Enterprises as an export-import business. The big breakthrough came in 1995, when Adani bid to build and operate a commercial shipping port at Mundra in Gujarat. This port formed the core of his future empire and success. Leveraging the cash flows from this port, Adani rapidly expanded into power generation, coal mining, oil refining, and more. Each new business was integrated almost like a well-oiled machine. Fast forward to today, Adani Enterprises has metastasized into a multinational conglomerate spanning airports, data centers, defense manufacturing, renewable energy, and media. In 2022, Adani surpassed some of India's more established industrial giants to become the nation's richest person. He added an astonishing $60 billion to his net worth in the past 3 years alone, one of the fastest wealth increases in history. Critics have questioned the rapid growth in leveraged buyouts and stock prices. But Adani has big ambitions for the future across infrastructure and especially renewable energy. Recently, his companies have faced short-seller accusations of stock manipulation and accounting fraud, claims they strenuously deny. However this pans out, none can dispute Adani and his lieutenant's phenomenal capacity to build profitable businesses. Number 14. Michael Bloomberg. In 14th place is Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City and founder of the Bloomberg media and financial services empire. Bloomberg started his company in 1981 as a financial data provider. His net worth now sits at $96 billion, though he's given over $10 billion to charity, primarily towards education and environmental causes. Bloomberg grew up in a middle-class family outside Boston. He studied engineering at Johns Hopkins and got an entry-level job at investment bank Salomon Brothers in 1966. 15 years later, in 1981, Salomon Partners approved a $10 million severance so Bloomberg could establish his own company. That company became the genesis of today's Bloomberg LP. Bloomberg built out a proprietary network to bring transparency around bonds, equities, and other financial data. This revolutionary Bloomberg terminal became essential for traders, bankers, and fund managers. Subscription fees start at $24,000 annually per terminal for access, granting the company billions in recurring subscription revenues. Beyond terminals, the firm expanded into software, news, research, and magazines, plus billions more in ancillary financial products and services. Bloomberg gave up daily management in 2001 to serve as the 108th mayor of New York City for 12 years. Since then, 88% of the company has been sold to employees, while he retains 88% voting control. Bloomberg Philanthropies focuses on public health, environment, education, government innovation, and arts, among others. He's gifted Johns Hopkins over $4 billion alone, making it the biggest benefactor to any education institution globally, though controversial for backing causes like soda taxes and stricter gun control. Number 13. Amancio Ortega. Our 13th wealthiest billionaire is the founder of the famous fast fashion retailer Zara, Amancio Ortega. He opened the first Zara clothing store in 1975 before expanding across the globe to become the world's biggest fashion group, Inditex. Ortega has quietly amassed a personal fortune of $98 billion. The Spanish business magnate is extremely private and owns much property in major commercial areas across the world. Ortega has diversified from fashion into global real estate. Even in retirement, his wealth continues to rise steadily year after year. Ortega was born in 1936 in northern Spain, one of 4 children. His father was a railway worker. As a teenager, Ortega found work as a shop hand for a local shirt maker. He learned skills like making clothes and merchandising. Ortega struck out on his own at age 27 by designing gowns and lingerie to sell to Spanish women. He opened the first Zara store in 1975 and then quickly expanded to cities across Spain. Zara pioneered fast fashion by moving trends from runway to retail stores in just 2 weeks. Zara produces only limited quantities of each new clothing line, keeping customers coming back often. When a new fashion line sold out, Zara replenished those items within days. Competitors took months to design and distribute new inventory in contrast. Ortega grew his company Inditex rapidly in the 1980s and 1990s by buying existing retail chains and then rebranding them as Zara. Today, Zara has over 7,500 stores globally across various brands and subsidiaries. Inditex operates over 200 factories and processing facilities to achieve its impressively fast supply chain. Ortega himself still owns nearly 60% of Inditex, which reported $31 billion in sales for 2021. Number 12. Carlos Slim Helú. Mexican tycoon Carlos Slim Helú comes in at number 12 with an estimated net worth of $100 billion. He and his family control Latin America's largest mobile telecom firm, América Móvil. He also holds stakes in over 200 companies spanning mining, real estate, oil, hotels, entertainment, and beyond. Slim has appeared on the rankings of the world's wealthiest individuals since 2010. He's aggressively acquired troubled companies at bargain prices during economic crises and reaped huge returns as markets recovered. Critics have accused him of wielding monopolistic control in Mexico, while admirers praise his business acumen. Carlos Slim was born in Mexico City in 1940, the son of a successful Lebanese merchant who'd immigrated to avoid religious persecution. Young Slim learnt business practices working at his father's dry goods store. He later studied engineering and then began building an investment portfolio by buying property and government bonds. Slim gradually built up huge stakes across sectors like banking, mining, retail, media, and telecommunications. His key strategies were buying up distressed companies at fire sale valuations and then nursing them back to profitability. Following Mexico's frequent economic downturns, Slim could acquire assets for literal pennies on the dollar during crisis periods. Mexico's recovering economy, capital markets, and middle class then generated massive returns on his bargain investments. Today, Slim's empire Grupo Carso, named after his late wife, controls over 200 companies including América Móvil mobile carrier, with 300 million subscribers across Latin America. He remains deeply influential in Mexico with long ties to ruling political parties. Slim is noted for aggressiveness in acquiring undervalued assets, fighting off any competition, and influencing regulations to his advantage, according to critics. Despite monopolistic accusations, supporters admire Slim's economic stewardship, navigating Mexico's volatile political situation. During the COVID crisis, he donated $130 million for medical equipment and committed $45 billion towards infrastructure investments over the coming years. Carlos Slim has wealth spanning an incredible array of businesses, along with the power and prestige reserved for one of the world's richest individuals. Number 11. Mukesh Ambani. The richest person in Asia is Mukesh Ambani at number 11 with $113 billion. He transformed Reliance Industries into India's largest company, spanning oil and gas, telecom, retail, and now technology/e-commerce. Ambani's fortune has nearly quadrupled since 2016, as new digital ventures rapidly gained users and outside investment. He's pivoting Reliance into clean energy, 5G, and online medicine grocery. Ambani also owns the Mumbai Indian cricket team and the most expensive private residence in the world, a $2 billion Mumbai tower. Mukesh Ambani was born in 1957 in Yemen, where his parents briefly lived as Indian expatriates. His father, Dhirubhai, launched the precursor to Reliance Industries in 1966. It imported polyester and exported spices from India while expanding into petrochemicals and oil refining. Mukesh joined straight after earning an engineering degree to learn his father's business. He quickly pioneered innovations like building the world's biggest oil refinery and mass-producing polyester at new complexes dotted along India's coastline. Mukesh leveraged paternal ties with India's powerful politicians to acquire land and licenses. Expanding capacity let Reliance tap soaring local energy demand as India's middle class and economy grew. After his father passed away in 2002, Mukesh Ambani survived a bitter feud with his younger brother over control that split the firm. Thereafter, he completely dominated Reliance, becoming Asia's richest man within a decade. His wife Neeta, a former teacher, also evolved into a global business leader as Reliance expanded. Lately, Ambani aggressively invested billions into emerging technologies like retail, streaming, and even satellite broadband. He sold off chunks of Reliance valued at billions to marquee investors like Facebook and Google. This helped finance new consumer-focused ventures, Reliance Retail and the digital platform, Jio. Leveraging India's smartphone boom, Jio signed up over 425 million subscribers in just 4 years. Number 10. Sergey Brin. In 10th place we have Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google's parent company Alphabet. Sergey and Google co-founder Larry Page together own over 10% of Google stock, now worth about $114 billion each. The pair launched Google in 1998, which now accounts for the vast majority of Alphabet's $1.5 trillion market value. Brin was key in developing Google's initially famous search engine algorithm. He also oversees Alphabet's X division, working on ambitious moonshots in science and technology. Brin has donated hundreds of millions towards Parkinson's research and democratic political campaigns. Sergey Brin was born in Moscow in 1973 to Jewish parents, a mathematician and economist who emigrated to escape Jewish persecution. He studied computer science at the University of Maryland, where he met Larry Page. The pair soon struck up a close friendship over shared ideas on using data mining and machine learning to enhance internet searches. After heading west, both Brin and Page studied at Stanford under renowned computer science professor Rajiv Motwani. Together, they worked on a research project called Backrub, funded by the NSF and Stanford, that sought to analyze the massive graph of links between websites. It then utilized this interconnected data to improve results' relevance beyond what other search engines then offered. The pair tried unsuccessfully to sell this technology with its innovative PageRank algorithm to existing players. So despite lacking business experience, they founded their own company Google in September 1998. The name Google reflected their mission to organize the exponentially expanding internet universe. Based in a California garage, their homemade server rack index grew rapidly, indexing over 10 million pages within a year. Venture capitalists soon took notice, providing millions in early funding before valuation climbed exponentially into the billions. Google eventually became the world's most visited website with over 92% global internet search share. Sergey served as Google's president while technology fellow Larry was CEO. Their innovative automated text advertisements next to search introduced an entirely new online marketing model. By 2004, barely 6 years after its founding, Google debuted on public markets, valuing it at $25 billion. Number 9. Steve Ballmer. At number 9 is Steve Ballmer with $119 billion. Ballmer was CEO of Microsoft for 14 years after his former classmate Bill Gates stepped down. He still owns 333 million shares in Microsoft alongside the LA Clippers NBA team. Balmer's booming voice and energetic charisma were part of his signature style while leading Microsoft. He focused on cloud computing before handing over to his successor, Satya Nadella, in 2014. Under Nadella's leadership, Microsoft's shares have tripled, greatly boosting Balmer's net worth even after leaving. Born in 1956 outside Detroit, Balmer studied applied mathematics and economics at Harvard. There, he shared a dorm room with sophomore Bill Gates, and they became close friends. After graduation, Balmer worked in product management for the biscuit company Procter & Gamble, but Gates convinced him to lead Microsoft's marketing division after moving the firm to Washington in 1980. Balmer officially became Microsoft's 30th employee, its first business manager. He headed sales and support, managing exponential growth in computers running Microsoft software. Balmer's loud, commanding presence and marketing flair complemented technical wizard Gates perfectly. He drove the slogan, "A personal computer on every desktop running Microsoft software," against rivals like Apple and IBM. His aggressive and competitive style reflected the software firm's relentless ambition. Balmer succeeded Gates as CEO from 2000 to 2014, as Windows Office dominated the PC revolution. He more than tripled annual revenues to over $70 billion through product improvements and global expansion. Balmer oversaw major success stories like Xbox gaming, along with misses like smartphone software. He realigned Microsoft around devices and services before stepping down amidst pressure for a new direction. His 4% personal stake today in Microsoft totals $119 billion from stock growth under successor Satya Nadella. Though no longer involved, the booming personal fortune still ranks Steve Ballmer among the richest persons walking planet Earth today. Number 8. Larry Page. In the 8th spot, rounding our trio of Google billionaires, is Larry Page with $119 billion, matching his co-founder Sergey Brin. Page served as CEO of Alphabet until stepping down in 2019, though he and Brin still control the business and sit on the board. Page oversees tech incubators investing in AI, life extension, and flying cars. He's funneling money into anti-aging research, hoping to one day cure death. Larry Page lives relatively modestly given his enormous wealth, shies away from the public spotlight, and focused intensely on future innovations. Larry Page was born in 1973 in Michigan, where his parents worked as computer science professors. He studied engineering at the University of Michigan and became obsessed with how computer networks might organize global information. Page headed west for PhD study at Stanford, intersecting with Sergey Brin and their joint work on search technology. Page takes a long-term perspective dating back to his youth. This includes pondering the 100-year impact of inventing something as powerful as the internet. Even as CEO, Page bet on ambitious moonshots like Google X Lab, while trusting Brin to oversee core moneymakers like search ads. Alphabet today invests billions into experimental other bets like self-driving cars, delivery drones, AI, and biotech. Page personally founded 2 Alphabet companies, air taxi firm Kitty Hawk and longevity startup Calico. Kitty Hawk is building an electric urban air mobility network aiming for safety comparable to commercial airlines. Calico funds basic research into cellular senescence and disease propagation, hoping to extend human lifespans dramatically. Despite his fame, Page shuns public attention and focuses intensely on inventing breakthrough future technologies. Fortune once described him as painfully introverted, masking relentlessly ambitious visions, perhaps only matched by SpaceX founder Elon Musk. Number 7. Bill Gates. Of course, no list of the world's wealthiest is complete without mentioning Bill Gates. Gates is currently number 7 with $124 billion. He co-founded Microsoft in 1975 and ushered in the personal computing revolution. Long the world's richest human until recently, Gates has donated $50 billion to charity and plans on giving most of his wealth away. After stepping down as Microsoft CEO in 2008, he has focused efforts on global health, education, and climate change through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, launched in 2000. The tech visionary remains optimistic that technology and capitalism can alleviate poverty and inequality across the world. Born in Seattle in 1955, Gates showed an early fascination with computer programming after his school acquired a primitive ASR-33 teletype terminal. At 13, he wrote his first software program for the GE system based on the game Tic-Tac-Toe. Gates met Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen at prep school, where they shared a similar passion for coding. Gates enrolled at Harvard University in 1973 but dropped out 2 years later upon co-founding Microsoft with Allen. They created software written in BASIC for the earliest personal computers like MIT's Altair 8800. Then in 1980, IBM contracted Microsoft to supply the operating system for its upcoming personal computer. Gates shrewdly acquired rights to sell their MS-DOS system to any hardware partner, ceding Microsoft's industry dominance. MS-DOS, along with the application suite Microsoft Office, became standard business software as corporations adopted personal computers. Rapid growth made Gates the world's youngest self-made billionaire in 1987 at age 31. By 1995, Gates had become the world's wealthiest person, as Microsoft's 90% plus market share in the new Windows operating system minted a tech empire. At a peak of over $300 billion in today's terms, Microsoft became the world's biggest company, making Gates the first ever centibillionaire. Since resigning as CEO, Gates has focused full-time on philanthropy alongside Melinda French Gates. They've spent billions fighting infectious diseases like malaria, HIV, and polio in developing nations. Other focus areas include agricultural productivity, gender equality, financial services access along US education, and climate policy. Having stepped off Microsoft's board in 2020, Gates continues seeking innovative solutions, blending technology, science, and data analytics applied to humanity's greatest challenges. Number 6. Warren Buffett. Now for number 6, the most famous and influential investor alive, Warren Buffett, with $132 billion. Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway, a sprawling conglomerate holding company with stakes in dozens of major US firms. Called the Oracle of Omaha, his investing track record and wisdom are legendary. Buffett made his first investment at age 11 and became a billionaire by age 56. Now 91, he still runs Berkshire Hathaway along with longtime business partner Charlie Munger. Buffett lives modestly in Omaha, Nebraska, and is noted for his humility despite his vast fortune. He's already donated $45 billion to Gates's Giving Pledge and plans on giving over 99% of his wealth to charity. Born in 1930 in Omaha, Buffett's father Howard worked as a stockbroker and 4-term congressman. His mother, Layla Stahl Buffett, led a small grocery store. Young Warren showed early fascination with numbers, business, and investing. By 11, he bought his first stock. In high school, he ran business enterprises, including pinball machines placed across barbershops. After undergrad at Wharton, Buffett studied under Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, at Columbia B School. He soon launched investment partnerships that became the precursor to Berkshire Hathaway. With funding from family, Buffett accumulated a diverse portfolio of undervalued stocks, insurance companies, and a failing textile mill called Berkshire, then other firms. His disciplined and rational analysis of companies' long-term cash-generating ability led to immense personal wealth. When wife Susie died in 2004 after 52 years of marriage, she controlled over $2.5 billion in assets of her own thanks to her husband's early investing prowess. Over 6 decades, Buffett has acquired dozens more companies wholly or shares across insurance, energy, transportation, industrials, and consumer goods. Berkshire today employs over 400,000 people with dozens of constituent firms like Geico, Dairy Queen, and BNSF Railway. Still in excellent health, the Oracle has assured investors Berkshire is institutionally set up to endure past his lifespan. Number 5. Larry Ellison. In 5th place, we have Larry Ellison at $141 billion. Ellison co-founded software firm Oracle in 1977, earning him an enormous fortune in company shares. He stepped down as Oracle's CEO in 2014 after 38 years, but remains its chairman and CTO. Ellison has already donated $2 billion to charity and signed the Giving Pledge. a promise he eventually intends to give away his fortune. He's known for a lavish lifestyle with luxury homes, resorts, and exotic vehicles befitting one of the world's richest men alive. Born in Manhattan in 1944 to a single mother, Ellison endured hardship as a child adopted by his aunt and uncle in Chicago. A mediocre university student in Illinois during the 1960s, Ellison dropped out of 2 colleges in his early 20s after his adoptive mother passed. He headed west to California and honed his emerging computing skills during the early 1970s. This included gig work around repositories, report writing, and assembler coding that eventually earned steady paychecks as a programmer. In 1977, Ellison partnered with former Ampex colleagues Bob Miner and Ed Oates to found the software development laboratories that later became Oracle Corporation. They created Oracle's initial leading product called Oracle version 2, the first commercial SQL-based relational database aimed at managing information across systems. Requiring scale-up servers and ongoing maintenance, Ellison's software differed from mainframe-based corporate databases of the time. This path-breaking achievement earned Oracle over $1 million in the first 2 years. The founders, having kept over 60% ownership, became multimillionaires almost overnight. Ellison aggressively marketed integrated business software solutions as Oracle became the industry-standard database for client-server networks. By 1986, barely a decade after its founding, Oracle had already minted Ellison's debut on Forbes' Richest Individuals list, which he has never since dropped from for over 35 consecutive years now. Oracle's dominant database today still manages 91% of enterprise data warehouses and transaction processing workloads despite intense competition from Microsoft, Amazon, and startups. Number 4, Mark Zuckerberg. Here in the top 5 now with number 4 is Mark Zuckerberg, worth $170 billion. Zuckerberg famously co-created Facebook in his Harvard dorm room at barely 20 years old. He soon after famously dropped out to work full-time on Facebook, which now boasts over 3.6 billion monthly users. Zuckerberg has faced scandals around data privacy, election interference, and misinformation, but continues rapidly expanding. He commands nearly total control of Facebook and its prized data assets. At just 38, he could well climb even higher on this list in the decades to come. Born in 1984 outside New York City, Zuckerberg excelled academically with penchants for math, programming, history, and the classics. Early feats included building communication software by age 12 alongside Atari video games. He created an AI-powered personal digital assistant while still in high school, and reputedly once created a music app able to recognize his friends based merely on their footfalls. While at Harvard in early 2004, Zuckerberg hacked together the initial FaceMash website, pranking students with voting comparisons on who looked more attractive on campus. This first garnered Zuckerberg's attention, including Harvard Crimson newspaper coverage. Soon after, in February, Zuckerberg expanded his nascent social network focused on Harvard dorms and campus life, utilizing viral growth to overcome early website crashes. Within 24 hours, over 1,200 students had registered. Seeing explosive adoption and buzz, investor Peter Thiel backed the fledgling startup with $500,000 seed funding within months, alongside other key supporters like Sean Parker of Napster fame. Zuckerberg soon after dropped out to relocate operations towards Silicon Valley, a gutsy move for any founder, but especially one barely of legal drinking age. Nonetheless, users across elite campuses and eventual workplaces propelled Facebook's expansion in that critical year before site membership opened fully by September 2006. After one short decade since its founding in that Harvard dorm, Facebook was soon reaching 1 billion users worldwide thanks to Zuckerberg's visionary borderless platform. Mark Zuckerberg retains near absolute control with special voting shares today and still leads the vision around connecting the global community. However, the Facebook creator has weathered severe criticism regarding privacy, state-sponsored disinformation, and hate speech. Being an early developer of key underlying internet infrastructure brings power, but also civic accountability as a structure enabling modern social discourse. Zuckerberg has sought to balance often contradictory demands while spearheading his company's relentless growth and innovation. Facebook today operates a business empire that includes Instagram, WhatsApp, and VR firm Oculus, while pursuing futuristic smart glasses, neural interfaces, and financial blockchain wallets. At just 38 years old, Zuckerberg still has decades ahead with near unlimited resources to shape our collective human future according to his ideals of openness, community, and universal connectivity. Number 3. Jeff Bezos. The bronze medal for the world's richest person goes to Jeff Bezos at $190 billion. Bezos transformed retail and delivery with his online bookstore Amazon, which has made him exceedingly rich. He founded Amazon in 1994 and still owns 10% of the company stock. Bezos drove Amazon relentlessly to lower prices and faster delivery times. He stepped down from CEO recently to focus on other ventures. He owns the Washington Post and his space company Blue Origin. Bezos has vowed to combat climate change using his enormous wealth, but has faced criticism for tax avoidance despite his unprecedented fortunes. Born in 1964 in New Mexico, Bezos' mother was a teenager when he was born, while his biological dad managed a bike shop. His stepfather, Mike Bezos, adopted young Jeff, who took his last name. Mike worked as a petroleum engineer for Exxon before moving the family around Texas as needed for job transfers. Young Bezos spent summers castrating bulls and maintaining equipment on his grandparents' 25,000-acre South Texas ranch. There, he also displayed engineering proficiency, like homemade solar cookers or amateur electric alarm systems around the property. Bezos studied computer science and electrical engineering at Princeton. After graduating, he worked at telecom startup Fitel before moving to Wall Street hedge fund D.E. Shaw. He became D.E. Shaw's youngest ever vice president before age 30 thanks to skills in IT systems and quantitative analysis. By then, he'd already mapped ambitions to utilize emerging online networks towards retailing at a global scale. Thus, in 1994, Bezos founded Amazon, selling books after driving west, backed by over $1 million in early investment. Originally based in his Seattle area garage, Amazon relentlessly pursued the expansion of products and speedy delivery. Bezos drove innovations like personalized recommendations and then fast free shipping for loyal Prime members. This disrupted physical chains and expanded Amazon across endless retail segments from fashion to groceries to streaming entertainment. Shrewd technology integrations like the purchase of robots firm Kiva let Amazon massively scale operations through 200 warehouses, serving billions in e-commerce sales. Over the quarter century, Amazon has amassed colossal market value and transformed Bezos into the world's wealthiest man, albeit temporarily at its peak. Number 2. Elon Musk. In the silver medal second place is the centi-billionaire CEO disrupting multiple industries, Elon Musk, valued at $205 billion. Musk co-founded several revolutionary companies including electric automaker Tesla, rocket producer SpaceX, as well as solar power and AI ventures. He's known widely as an eccentric workaholic, driving intense visions for the future. Musk hopes to make humanity multi-planetary with ambitions to populate Mars in the coming years. He's promised to give away most of his money if it can be properly allocated to solve humanity's problems. Musk has over 100 million followers on social media and upended what many thought possible out of sheer determination. Born in 1971 in South Africa, Musk taught himself computer programming as a child. By age 12, he'd coded his own video game and sold it to PC Magazine. His parents divorced, leaving Elon to live mostly with his engineer dad. He left South Africa at 17 for Canada, escaping mandatory military service before entering Queen's University at 18, sharing a room with 2 other students. Transferring to Wharton brought Musk closer to the American entrepreneurial sphere, where he earned degrees in physics and business. In 1995, Musk moved to Silicon Valley, founding his first startup, Zip2, an online media publishing software for news organizations like the New York Times. Zip2 sold in 1999, netting Musk $22 million. He soon after launched X.com, which developed digital payments infrastructure. X.com merged in 2000 with startup Confinity, whose PayPal peer-to-peer digital transfers became a success. When PayPal sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk netted $180 million. Newfound wealth lets Musk find his future flagship endeavors. In 2002, Musk founded SpaceX, building rockets with the intent to enable human space colonization while reducing flight costs tenfold. Days later, he founded electric automaker Tesla to accelerate sustainable transport technology. Both firms narrowly escaped failures and production bottlenecks before emerging as staples changing automotive and aerospace fields. While expanding Tesla sedans and then Solar City green panels, SpaceX grew reusable orbital-class rockets. It birthed Crew Dragon carrying astronauts and Starlink internet satellites, now numbering over 3,000 above Earth. Musk endures significant criticism as a demanding boss driving unorthodox visions facing skepticism. Yet his ambition to match massive personal risk into multiple ventures proved prescient. Expanding wealth lets Musk develop Neuralink brain interfaces, tunneling outfit Boring Company, and even acquisitions like Twitter to further expand reach. Eccentric at times but undeniably original, Elon Musk has catalyzed whole new industries that may fundamentally transform human futures on Earth and amongst the stars in ways we cannot yet imagine. Number 1. Bernard Arnault. And now, the richest human on the planet as of 2023, Bernard Arnault, with a staggering net worth of $220 billion. Arnault oversees his massive luxury empire, LVMH, with dozens of the world's top fashion and alcohol brands like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Moet. His family owns nearly 50% of LVMH and has created a multinational juggernaut of wealth. At one point, he looked set to overtake Elon Musk for the world's richest human until Tesla stocks rebounded. Now 73, Arnault has built LVMH rapidly by seizing opportunities and strategic acquisitions over time. Born in 1948 in France, Arnault's father owned a major DMC civil engineering contractor that helped build up Africa. He studied engineering himself before joining a poultry family business selling construction materials. But 24-year-old Arnault saw greater potential in manufacturing luxury products catering to Europe's elite. He convinced his father to acquire the bankrupt textile firm Boussac, including the deluxe brand Christian Dior, as the crown jewel. This first pivotal corporate takeover made Arnault the new face of French luxury and began his emphasis on ownership of only the most prestigious brands globally. Through the 1970s, Arnault kept acquiring renowned yet struggling makers of champagne, couture, cognac, and more often for relative pittances. He then utilizes his architectural engineering and creative direction to restore their profitability, prestige, and growth in what would become trademark strategies. Upon acquiring a majority of LVMH in 1989, Arnault became instrumental in catalyzing the biggest resurgence ever witnessed in French luxury, concentrated under one umbrella. Already knighted for reviving and preserving France's heritage industries, he even convinced France's finance minister to promote his advisors into top policy making to stimulate luxury exports competitive against Italy. Today, LVMH controls dozens of the most exclusive luxury houses spanning wines and spirits like Moet Chandon or Hennessy, fashions like Louis Vuitton, plus cosmetics, watches, and high-end retail chains. With over $70 billion in sales across 150 countries, Arnault has crafted LVMH into likely the greatest personalized fortune ever derived from luxury. Critics fear Arnault leaves little room for emerging creative designers and crowding out competition. Yet none dispute LVMH upholds standards of quality and prestige that position France still as arbiter-in-chief of luxury worldwide. Now senior but still intimately involved, Arnault has even groomed children into top executive roles, ensuring continuity. Alongside Gates, Buffett, and others, Bernard Arnault has certainly etched his name for good amongst the richest titans in the modern world.